I
love it.
I went on a trip with Chris last week.
To Puerto Rico?
No, not to Puerto Rico.
But you knew he was going to Puerto Rico, right? So you gave him all your recommendations?
I found out Chris was in Puerto Rico from his Instagram story. I lived in Puerto Rico. I was like, Chris, you're in Puerto Rico? I lived there.
I didn't really plan it out very well.
Obviously.
What a staggering surprise here! Shocking news from Chris on the Rooster Teeth podcast.
But I went to a podcast convention with Chris last week, and how did we meet up on that day? We I think we ran into each other randomly, right?
Yeah.
Like on that whatever that was, that Tuesday, Wednesday, I think it was. Yeah.
On the convention floor.
Yeah, it was like we were just walking by, like, oh hey Chris, and it was my wife and I, and we ran into Chris, and we were like, what are you up to? He's like, oh, I got this happy hour that I'm gonna go to here in a little bit. You guys want to come? I was like, yeah, sure. You know, I really don't drink anymore, but I was like, yeah, I'll go hang out, you know, socialize and stuff, which is weird for me. So I'm like, where is it? And you know, Chris has all the information on his phone. He pulls it up. He's like, it's the monetization happy hour. It's in Ballroom E. I was like, oh, that's a weird name for a happy hour, but all right, whatever. It's like we got a few minutes to kill, so we like sat down and just like shot the shit for a little bit. Then it's like whatever time, like 4 o'clock or whenever the happy hour is supposed to start. Like, all right, well let's head over to Ballroom E and see what's going on. So we like walk in that direction. We kind of like have a map. We're like somewhere over there, and we're in the convention center. We're walking in that direction. We walk past like this person who works at the event, and she could tell that we're like kind of looking around. She's like, what are you looking for? Like, we're looking for Ballroom E. She's like, oh yeah, go down this hallway to second door on the left. Like, okay, great, thanks. So we walk down the hallway, second door on the left, we walk in, and it's just like a panel room. And there's someone on stage giving a presentation. And we're like, is this Ballroom E? And we like look around, and there's quite a few people in there, but everyone's like sitting down listening to this panel. It's like we step back out, and they're like, there's other people doing the same thing. We're walking in and then walking out, and like, what's going on? So I'm like, Chris, let me see your phone. And he shows me his phone, and it says, the name of the panel is Monetization Happy Hour, how to drive monetization on your podcast. Like, Chris, this is a panel that's called Happy Hour. It's not an actual happy hour.
That was sneaky.
It was pretty sneaky. To her credit, her panel was very full, but there were other people walking by that same convention worker.
There were a lot of people
who were like, that wasn't a happy hour at all. That's just a panel.
So every panel at RTX from here on out is going to be the
I'm calling everything.
Rooster Teeth Happy Hour.
At RTX, welcome to the Rooster Teeth Podcast Happy Hour. This is going to rule.
So we're like, all right, well, this obviously is a panel. It's not a happy hour. Chris is like, well, don't worry. This is at 4 o'clock, mind you. At 5 o'clock, there's a mixer. We can go to the mixer.
Oh,
it's
easy.
Definitely. I said, okay, great. Well, at 5 o'clock, we'll have mixer. Let's just go sit down. We'll shoot the shit again. We just like sat down at a table, and the three of us all sitting around talking.
We walked around, saw the booths.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah. Good booths?
Good booths.
A lot of people, a lot of like services that we work with, and some that we don't work with. But 5 o'clock finally rolls around. Like, great, let's go to this mixer. Go to this mixer. It's being held in like, I don't know what that room is, like the keynote area,
right?
Whatever, like the big hall that they have. Cool. We walk in there, and as soon as you walk in, there's like a little spread of food, and I don't want anything. And Chris is like, I'm gonna get some food. So Chris like goes and gets food, of course. We're like, we'll find a place to sit. We sit down, and there's only like one bar. It's a big room. There's only one bar, one bartender at the bar. Chris is like, I'm gonna go get in line get something to drink. So Chris leaves and gets in line. The line's really long. It's like halfway down the hall. Chris gets in line, and this woman comes up on the stage, and she's like, hey, everyone, thanks for coming to the happy hour, blah, blah, blah. We have raffle. If y'all need raffle tickets, go over to this table over here. I've also got drink tickets. If y'all want drink tickets, come see me. So like Chris immediately leaves the line and makes a beeline for her and gets drink tickets. And while all this is going on, Esther and I are looking around, and we're like, there's a lot of women here. There's really not many men at all. And I'm like, this is kind of weird. I looked around like, I feel a little weird now. Like, there's really no...
Like, am I supposed to be here?
Right,
like,
there's no men in here at all. So Chris goes, talks to the woman, gets drink tickets, gets back in line. So now he's even further back in line. He waits in line about 30, 40 minutes, gets his drink, comes and sits down with us, and I'm like, Chris, let me see your phone. I want to see what this event is. It was a podcast mixer for women and non-binary podcasters.
Dude. What?
It didn't say that until it said it. It didn't.
I was like, Chris, what are you
Dude, what are you doing?
And then I said, Chris, what if you win the raffle?
Yeah.
I was terrified.
What are you gonna do? So Chris became terrified that he was going to win the raffle.
Just sit. Just don't say anything.
What are you
won, but
doing?
The thing at the top said like something party or mixer.
She podcasts. The something is she podcast.
And then did it continue to say other things?
That was in the when you hit the description of the event.
Which you did not do?
No, because I was just trying to find the next thing after the happy hour didn't turn out well.
I feel like after the first destination was a flop.
I should have taken the phone and looked at it.
I have to listen. I blame Chris. Absolutely.
Yeah.
However, I have to put some blame on you for not looking on your own phone or on Chris's phone at any of the information.
I know now.
That's
after the first one, I should have looked. That's on me.
Fool you want, shame on him.
I'll be honest. If I was with Chris and this was happening, I would have been looking it up on my own first and then going. I don't know that that's an indictment on Chris. However, that's what I would have done. It's crazy that also you did not do that.
I was just like, all right, whatever. Like,
just go with the flow.
Yeah.
You were.
Classic Gus. Go with the flow.
He was seeing how the other half lives. He was saying, what does Chris do at a convention?
I felt so bad the whole time I was in that. Because then I was like reliving that moment in the when I
what would
the
you
whole
have won?
line.
What would you have won if you won the raffle?
a whole bunch of
shame.
I think the big prize was an iPad Pro.
Oh God, I wish you would have won. That would have been. You would have been dressed like this.
He kept
walking up and
he kept asking Esther. He's like, "Please, if I win, will you go up and accept it for me? You can be Chris."
I was like, I don't want to, or I was like, or give it back or something. I don't, like, or just don't go up at all. I was like, and then we had to. Yeah.
So then we had Chris finish his beer and we left. We're like, all right, that's it.
Dude, this is. Oh man, this is what I mean. Gus, you're different in Nashville.